dismay of the teacher. The boys start laughing even harder, and they all call him the 8-second boy, a title which he has gotten from his peers. Shen is just a third-year student, and after falling very ill at a young age, his body became frail, and most do call him a weakling, not worthy of anything. Even the teacher doesn't know what to say, as if he keeps up like this, he will fail the physical test, which hasn't happened in the whole history of this school. Shen has tried to compensate for this with other subjects, but the facts are still there. His physical condition is extremely bad, and that is precisely why he is constantly bullied and ridiculed by others. After school, he goes to the mailman to ask if there are any new packages, and the mailman gives him a package from Guangdong, from his father, specifically. While opening it, Shen thinks that because of his almost mortal illness, his family spent all of their money in order to save his life, and that put them in a lot of debt. To counteract this, his father left home and went to work in the south, where the pay is better. When he finally gets the box open, it is revealed that his father sent him a kaiju figurine with a note beside it. Shen opens it, and his father wishes him a happy birthday, while also hoping that not matter what happens, he will still be strong and face his battles like this kaiju. This makes Shen tear up, as even if he has suffered so much because of him, his father still loves him a lot. Suddenly, one of the bullies grabs the figurine and asks he is still playing with toys at his age, but he is a weak bum, so it fits. Shen demands that he give the gift back, but the bullies don't even think about doing that, and they throw in on the road where it is most vulnerable. Shen instantly tries to go and grab it, but in his rush, he does not see a gigantic truck coming at fast speeds. The bullies, now horrified by their act, tell him to get out of the way, and the driver desperately tries to swerve out of the way, but it is too late, and Shen is hit. His kaiju figure glides into the air as he falls, and lands next to him. The other immediately try to contact the authorities, but Shen is almost done for, and in his last moments, he wonders if this is really how he dies. Suddenly, he wakes inside of an ocean completely filled with different types of fish, and it seems that his body has transformed into that of a monster. He wonders if this is heaven or something like that, and that's when an artificial intelligence by the name of Kun comes online, as it has detected Shen as its new host, and activates the monster sign evolution. Shen asks what kind of evolution system it's talking about, but the AI tells him to shut up, as it's not done explaining. It opens his status window and shows him all that he has, his state, bloodline, and race, among other things. He is currently at the classics of the sea, and so, he has now become the Kui, beast, and will progress through its bloodline. Shen thinks that he looks a lot like the kaiju his father gave him, and if he can truly level up like this AI says, using the evolution points, he must have been reborn as a godly beast, and also with a cheat system. But this is too unbelievable, as it still feels like a dream, but his body feels real. He can feel it whole. He asks the AI to log him into the system, and after he successfully does so, he gets a map, and it seems that he is deep in the Mariana Trench. For the first time sign and reward, the system provides him with the Devour skill, which he can use to convert the food that he eats into points, and additionally, also has the chance of giving him an ability every time he eats something. Shen is surprised that he would get such a high-ranked skill so early, and the AI tells him that this is one of the best abilities any monster can have. Suddenly, most likely due to the ability, he starts to feel very hungry, and so he goes to scout for potential meals, but that's when he meets face-to-face with a lanternfish, which is a hunter type of fish. Shen thinks that it looks just as ugly and terrifying as on the interweb, so he moves out of the way, as he doesn't want that. The AI mocks him by asking why he is afraid. He is much bigger than that thing after all. Shen finally realizes he is indeed a mythical monster, and eyes turn red as he slams the fish with his tail. Shen is surprised that it only took one attack to put it down, and the AI tells him to check his weight, as he is much bigger than it. Shen picks up the now deceased fish, and wonders how to eat it, and if he will be gaining evolution points afterwards. The AI tells him that he will be gaining the points, and also warns him about not eating, as if he doesn't for a long period of time, he will die. Shen musters up enough courage to eat this thing, as he had done so with his father, and it didn't taste that bad. He gulps it down, and much to his gladness, the taste is not bad after all. He also gains 5 evolution points, and also obtains the illumination ability, which lets him glow in the dark. Shen is glad that the system gave him these, and so he activates the light skill, which illuminates his crest a lot, and with it, he can also attract all sorts of small fish. He gets to eating them, and for each, he gains 5 points, while also receiving another bonus for eating an arowana, 50 points, and the night vision ability, which seems to be very useful in his current situation. After he is done eating, Shen grows extremely fat and thinks that he did not think he would spend his days like this, chilling and eating fish, which he finds most enjoyable. He also tells the AI that he wants to evolve, more specifically, his scales, claws, and body build. While he transforms, the system tells him that it used 300 points for the scales, 200 for the claws, and an additional 500 for the body upgrade. After Shen is done transforming, he looks at himself and notes that if he continues to use points like this, he will one day grow into a gigantic monster, just like in the shows and movies he always liked. Out of curiosity, he asks the AI if he is still on Earth, but the AI tells him to discover that by himself, as it cannot say. Shen is quite annoyed by the little runt, as this is not a video game that he wants to explore in, and thinks that he is in the Mariana Trench, so he is still on Earth after all. He cannot go into cities now, as he will most definitely be attacked, so he will have to grow even stronger to make sure that the people above will not cause him any harm. He must continue to devour, to get stronger and stronger. While he does that, and enjoys it, a giant squid looks at him with its large eye and grabs him while he doesn't notice. Shen desperately tries to get out of its grasp while cursing at it a tons of times, but it seems that he cannot, as the squid's tentacles are far too strong for him at this stage. He once again starts to tear up at the thought of dying like this. He does not want to experience it once again. That's when a whale of tremendous size swims above them, which instantly grabs the squid's attention. It lets go of Shen and grabs the whale tightly while trying to consume it. Shen looks at this with a widened expression. He got too careless after being reborn as this monster, but between these two gigantic beasts, he feels like a worm. However, he has had enough. Now that he is a monster with great potential, he will have all of the qualities his bullies had, the qualities he needs in order to survive the very top of the food chain. He swears that from this day onward, he will not run away and be bullied by others, no matter how strong they are. With a whole new perspective, he charges in and takes a big bite out of the octopus. After he rips a piece up, he instantly eats it, noting that the taste is not that bad for something raw. He gets 21 evolution points from a single bite of this squid, so he thinks that this is a perfect opportunity to get more and more points. He continues to rip the squid up left and right, which clearly feels it, and so it moves its attention on Shen. He wonders why it's doing that, as he's on a little monster that is quite literally trying to eat it whole. The squid tries to once again grab him, but Shen knows of its tricks and continues to eat one of its tentacles while being grabbed. Unfortunately for the squid, the now angry whale comes from behind and also starts eating it. After a while, little remains of it, and both parties are extremely well fed and happy. With this, Shen has gained a total of 3,000 points, even though he ate only half of it. The whale starts to glare at him strangely, so Shen immediately intimidates it by asking if it really wants to fight after what it saw. The whale thinks that it would have a hard time eating this thing, so he turns away and leaves. Shen lets it go, as it has helped a great deal in the fight. He calls up the AI and tells it that he wants to upgrade himself once again. He uses 500 points for scale, claw, teeth, and body strengthening, while also using 1,500 points for a body upgrade. After the transformation is done, Shen grows even larger, to 10 meters in fact, but thinks that it's unfortunate he can't enjoy the eating the little things for too long. However, now with his speed and build, he can take down anything, be it squid or whale. The AI suddenly pops up with an announcement. For his achievement of devouring a squid, he will gain a special reward, a monster compass. Shen, who was quite spooked by this, asks what it does, and so the AI explains that with this, he can detect nearby monsters, be they friend or foe. Shen just scoffs this off, as it's not useful for him currently, and goes on the hunt without his light turned on, as growing stronger silently is the best way for him now. A week later, Shen makes his way toward an island, while thinking that it was a mistake to come here, as there are no large fish, and he is much too weak to get between the great sharks. With his body having evolved to 30 meters, he can now easily take down the giant squids, which is precisely why they now went into hiding like a bunch of wimps. Since he could not find any food, Shen tried his luck here. in the shallow area of the sea, but it's very dry in terms of fish. Shen thinks that, before going back to the deep water, he should at least sign in and get his reward. He does so, with the login location being the Abyss Island Sea area, and receives the Burst Breath class skill, which is also an S rank. Shen is very glad to have another powerful skill, and also that he is near a promising place that might feed him for a good while. Suddenly, his inner compass beams towards the island, signaling that there are a lot of monsters there. Shen moves towards the island and feels that his currents are quite big. If he did not have his current build, he wouldn't have been able to get on it. He gets close enough to be able to grab on the large wall that stands between him and the island, and so begins climbing it, until he gets to the top and takes in just how large this island really is. It also has a lot of prehistoric wildlife, such as a meganeura or an ancient centipede. Shen looks at this and thinks that there are definitely no humans around here, and also that this is a great spot for hunting. Shen continues to walk around the island, while saying that now starts his deserted island survival. He also breathes in quite a lot, as he hasn't experienced such fresh air in a long time. Suddenly, a few pterodactyls start to glide above him, and before long, they charge him. Shen is quite surprised that these tiny creatures are really considering him food, as even with their attacks, they are not dealing much damage. Shen manages to grab one of them and takes a sizable bite out of its wing. While he chews it, he thinks that it tastes like crunchy chicken, one of his favorites. He also gains 375 points for the pterodactyl, and an additional 1,000 for being the first one he ever ate. Shen notes that he is enjoying the new array of food, and seeing as the others will not come down anymore, it's about time he uses his new S rank technique. He charges up the ability, while the pterodactyls cower in fear at what's about to happen. Fortunately for them, however, Shen lets out only a light flame, which shocks both parties. The pterodactyls, now very angry that they were scared of somebody like him, call up their buddies, and they all charge Shen. He starts screaming at the AI for not telling him the ability is so weak, but the AI tells him that he is the dumbass, as it's not called Burst Breath for nothing. It explains that since it's one of his main moves, he has to concentrate all of his energy in one place and condense, while also releasing it in through his mouth. Shen thinks that these sounds like one of these abilities from the novels he read, and begs the AI to tell him how to use the ability more well, before he is eaten alive by these oversized chickens. The AI notes that he has already explained it. All he needs to do is gather his energy, and everything else will come out naturally. Shen desperately tries to do so, but is interrupted by one of the pterodactyls, who claws at his head, which takes him down. The pterodactyls continue to claw and bite at him, while the AI watches and sighs, while Shen remembers that he felt this way before. When the bullies were kicking him for no reason, he always endured, and focused his anger on one individual, the one closest to him. He also feels the same now, but he has promised to himself to grow stronger and not be bullied further. Even in his sad past, once, he used all of his strength on the person in front of him and knocked him over. He must do the same now, concentrate all of his energy into one place and unleash it. He does just that, and kills the pesky pterodactyls, while also blowing a giant hole on a nearby mountain. Shen is extremely glad that he has finally succeeded in doing it. However now, his body is extremely tired and needs food. He looks at his now cooked meal and eats it while crying tears of joy. From all of this, he has gained a total of 1294 evolution points. After he is done with his luscious meal, Shen looks around for some water, as his throat is dry after eating so much. Eventually, he arrives near the mountain he pierces with his breath, where there is also a lake. He finds it strange that there are no animals around this place, as animals do usually gather around bodies of water. But that's when the small piece of land in the middle of the lake rises up, and it's revealed that it was a creature, a mountain giant ox, which can live for up to 4 days in water. Quite suddenly, it is attacked by a pack of king crocodiles, which is one of the largest types of crocodile to have ever lived. They surround him, and they use their iconic death roll to rip the body of flesh in a matter of seconds. The crocodiles then notices Shen, who says that now he gets why there were no animals around here. But these guys are too weak for his standards. He will be having his drink one way or another. One of the crocs immediately tries to attack him, but suddenly, he is grabbed by a hand that's protruding out of the mountain and brought into it. Shen seems to have noticed what that was, and that's when it jumps high into the air and lands directly into the lake. The next enemy Shen will have to face is an ancient ape. The great ape happily eats its newly hunted prey, the crocodiles. But that's when it notices that one is still alive and kicking. So he slams it across another crocodile and rampages once again through the lake like a maniac. He finally notices the giant monster next to him, Shen, and immediately starts screaming and showing that he is indeed bigger. Shen thinks that he doesn't want to fight such a large creature currently, so he will not provoke him. He smiles and waves, while saying that he is just passing by and will be leaving right now. He then remembers that he's talking in the human language. But still, this oversized monkey might understand him after all. And sure enough, it did. As in gorilla terms, smiling is basically only for when they are nervous, and when they raise an arm, it basically means to give something, or to leave the place. The great ape starts huffing out of rage. How dare this lizard mock him while he is in his territory? He starts beating his chest, and starts chasing Shen throughout the forest, something which Shen does not understand at all. The great ape tries to hit him again and again, but it is rather slow, and Shen notices that it has a body chock full of weak points. He shouldn't forget that this is just an ape, so they move slow, and don't have that much thinking power. While the ape tries to hit him once again, Shen grabs his arm with his mouth, and then swiftly hits him with his tail in a combination attack. This causes the great ape to slip, and Shen thinks that this is the perfect opportunity for a final blow, a very sharp uppercut. He forgot, however, that his arms are extremely small, so he just wiggles them around a bit. Shen can now just look at the great ape, who is charging in with its shoulder. He hits him hard and sends him rolling on the ground. This makes Shen think that this dumb creature is not just stronger than him, but also more nimble. The ape jumps high into the air and lands on Shen, who seems to be wanting to charge up his burst breath, but that will take time. Without much choice, he turns around and bites the great ape's hand once again, but this time with much greater force, and they both look at each other while the ape tries to unhinge his mouth from his aching arm. Eventually he manages to do so, and continue to try and unhinge his jaw fully, since he has the grip on him already. However, the moment the great ape opens it too large, Shen charges up the burst breath almost fully, as his crest crackles with electric energy. The great ape stares at the blinding glow coming from Shen's mouth with a puzzled expression, and Shen is very glad that this dumb creature manages to do something so foolish. The great ape feels that this situation is dangerous, so he tries to back away while he still can, but Shen grips his legs tightly with his tail and thinks that now is the end of this fight. He unleashes the burst breath on the ape and sends it flying into a nearby mountain with great force, but that still does not kill it, although it causes great injury. Shen wonders just how strong he is, as this breath can literally destroy mountains and kill other things in one shot. The great ape screams at him one last time, and then leaves, probably to tend to his wounds. Shen is glad that he managed to defeat the boss of this island, but it costed him greatly, as today, he used burst breath twice, so he is extremely weak. The king crocodiles are also still here, so he mustn't show his weakness. Otherwise, he will become like that ox. So, with that, he starts eating the leftover bodies of the great ape in a powerful fashion, to fake that he is not weak at all. The king crocodile gives him 560 evolution points, and he also gains the scale strengthening as a reward. Shen is extremely happy with this, as with his defenses now more upgraded than ever, he can fight again and enjoy his meals. A week later, Shen continues his devouring journey, and also finds out that he can use burst breath to cook so that his meals are more enjoyable. He also signs in, and the reward is an A-class skill, radioactive heat ray, which based on the system's explanation, it's one of the best mouth cannons he can have currently. Shen thinks that he is extremely lucky, as he got an upgraded version of the compass recently, which also tells him the attributes of other monsters, another skill, Thorn Armor, when he signed in yesterday, and today, this skill. Not even gacha games would have this much loot. Suddenly, a prehistoric giant rat approaches him, and it seems that Shen has made him his pet of sorts, as he also feeds him some of the beef he cooked. He notes that a little rat like this reminds him of his past life, when he was just as small and bullied every single day. However, this little guy is luckier, as he met him, and from now on, he is his direct boss, so nobody will be able to hurt him. Shen basks in the sun, as his stats are revealed, his skills, which are too many to name, and that he has now entered his growth period, something which will help him a lot. He thinks that now, he can most definitely defeat the great ape. However, things get quite lonely around here, even with his orange friend, so he would like some company, and since the ape is strong and somewhat intelligent, it would make a great companion for now at least. He calls up the AI and tells it that he wants to put 48,000 points into body upgrades. The AI happily obliges, and the transformation begins. But afterwards, Shen is not happy with the results, as he only grew 0.5 meters. So he asks the AI, is this some kind of bug he forgot to patch? The AI explains that this is like an RPG game. The more he puts into a stat, the more points it will require for it to get to the next level. Shen's plan to become an 100-meter monster and dominate the entire island seems quite far-fetched now, as it will take tons of evolution points. But no matter, as he has other plans set in motion now. He searches for a tuft of hair from the ape, and eventually finds what he is looking for. He puts it in front of his orange friend and explains that now it has to play its part, since it has lived for free all of this time. All it needs to do is smell the tuft of hair and lead him towards the great ape. The orange rat squeaks in agreement, and Shen promises him that if they do manage to find the ape, he will feed him roasted beef for an entire year. The orange rat is now even more motivated, and so begins their journey to find the ape. But before that, the locals celebrate him leaving, as they even gave him a title, the God of Plague, as he ate too many of their people. Shen looks at them and thinks that they should not be so happy, as when he returns with his ape friend, they will start crying once again. Eventually, they make their way towards a rather isolated area of the island, which they both find pretty spooky. Shen wonders if his little friend sent him to the wrong place, as this seems like an awful place to live in, but he insists that this is the way. So Shen, without much to do, grabs him and charges forth into the cave. But it's strange, as his compass does not detect anything, not even the energy of the ape. Suddenly, a monster scream can be heard, so Shen carefully makes his way inside of it. He finds a lot of eggs and webs, making him think that this must be some sort of spider lair. That's when he also notices the ape, but in an entirely different form, a human female, with even the system not knowing why exactly she was turned into a human. Shen is just as surprised, and starts analyzing her more closely. He wonders just how she managed to get so small, and also notices that her chest injury has not yet healed. In a rather crude way, the great ape asks Shen what he wants, which surprises him, as he didn't think that it would be speaking human language. That's when she tells him to be careful above him, and when Shen looks, countless green monsters eagerly wait to strike. One tries to attack Shen, but he just grabs it with a disgusted expression. These creatures are called dead rotten reptiles, which hold the blood of the ancient monster Xiang Liu. He remembers how one of the bullies used to constantly show him geckos and other reptiles, which he did not like at all, as he finds all of them absolutely disgusting. The reptile tries to bite him, but it cannot pierce his hide, so Shen crushes it. The reptile leaves behind a bile of green goo, which disgusts Shen even further, and the other reptiles attempt their attack. While he deals with those in the front, most manage to climb on him and attempt to bite him, which angers him even further, as he activates his thorn armor, which pierces most of the reptiles to death. The ape watches Shen with awe, as he seems like a powerful beast now. Naturally, that breaks the moment he starts complaining about how much gunk the beast let on his body, which again, he finds disgusting. One of the reptiles notices the incapacitated ape, and so he tries to consume it, as he is simply following his instincts, but Shen crushes it with foot and tells them that they should not dare touch her while he is here. The reptiles try to make their way out of this encounter, but Shen has had enough of looking at them, and so he unleashes a powerful charged breath, which fries the beast to a crisp. Shen turns around to the ape and tells her to not be afraid, as with him here, no monster will hurt her. He slowly cuts her down from her restraints, and when she falls down, he notices that her wound has not healed at all, so it must be quite severe. He asks how she turned into a human, as the transformation was quite sudden. When she lands, the ape starts looking around for something to break the rock in front of her, which makes Shen think that she's trying to defend herself from him, so he assures her that he means no harm. Eventually, the ape manages to break a piece of the rock, and signals that this is what she ate in order to become like this. Shen looks at it, and wonders what it is. Maybe it's like one of those pills from the fantasy novels he used to read. They go outside, and Shen uses a pile of logs and his breath in order to make a large fire. He starts cooking the lizards he killed, even though he doesn't want to, as they are disgusting. But still, the evolution points he will receive will be considerable. However, he cannot lie. It smells and looks delicious after being cooked. The ape also finds its smell alluring, so Shen gives the first one to her and the rat, while he enjoys the other one he cooked. While he does that, he asks the ape if she can change back into her original form, even though he enjoys how she looks currently. If she had done so in that cave, she wouldn't have been almost eaten by these reptiles. She exclaims that she cannot change back, which makes Shen wonder what kind of fruit she ate. In this jungle filled with gigantic monsters, she cannot hope to survive like this, but she doesn't seem to mind, as she is still eating the food with a very happy face. He also wonders if she has any siblings, or was she a single child like him? One thing's for sure, if she hadn't met him today, she would have been eaten by this ugly yet delicious reptiles. The current her will not be able to survive until tomorrow without his help, and so he asks the AI if she can be changed back. The AI explains that he can, as she is still a beast, but he will need to analyze the fruit first, then to figure out exactly how. Shen is surprised that he can do so many things, and as a bonus, the AI tells him that after he analyzes the fruit, he can reform its composition and let her change back. He can also freely allow her to transform between monster and human, after consuming the fruit again, that is. Shen thinks that this is awesome, as this thing also applies to him, so it means that he can still go back to his loving family. Shen asks the ape where she got the fruit, and she explains that it on a cliff, where a pile of bones sat. Shen thinks that this is great, and tells her that after they finish eating, she will lead him to that place, so he can change her back. From the reptiles, he receives 645 points, while also receiving the first-time reward of 20,000 points. He thinks that, even if he is not on Earth, and this is just a parallel world, it's fine, as when he turns into a human, he can live a happy life with the ape on this calm and deserted island. 2 hours later, they arrive at the location where the ape found the fruit, and Shen notices a lot of human bones around, which makes him wonder exactly what happened. At the top of the mountain stands a weirdly placed tree, which bears the fruit that she ate, which seems to bear magical power. Or better said, for me it just looks as the human devil fruit. With the analyzing out of the way, Shen gets to climbing the mountain and spots a pterodactyl, which makes him wonder if it will attack him now. The pterodactyl charges forwards, which makes Shen think that it is attacking him, but it was actually aiming for a fruit, which it gulps down. As it does so, its body begins to transform into that of a man, which instantly falls down, as humans are not able to fly, unfortunately. Shen thinks that this must be why there are so many human bones around there, because creatures eat the fruit at the top and fall down as humans. This place just feels wrong, and so, he should hurry. But that's when a scary beast appears and looks ominously at him. This creature with a very long neck is called a deathlark, a mysterious bird, holding the blood of the Yuqiang beast. Additionally, its appearance is almost always accompanied by certain death. Shen wonders if this creature is acting like a guardian of the fruit tree, and why it's staring so much, as he doesn't want to meet its eyes. Unfortunately, he does, but the bird still does nothing, which makes Shen wonder if he's just being toyed with. They both stare at each other for a bit, and he notices that it's not attacking, so it speaks out to it, explaining that they only want 2 of these fruits, and then they will not bother it further. Shen reaches out to grab some fruit, but the bird thinks that if he eats it, he will fall and die like the others, and so, after it expands its wings, it charges towards Shen, who barely has time to get out of the way. He thinks that this bird is crazy for being so greedy, but he managed to take 2 of the fruits, and asks the AI to put them into the system. The AI obliges, and notes that if he also wants them analyzed, he would need 1 million evolution points, as he currently has only 933,000. Shen thinks that it was dumb to spend his points so randomly at the beginning, and tells the AI to just store them for the moment, as he is too busy with fighting this thing. The bird gets close to him and scratches his back, which makes him retaliate with the tail, but that was only a way for him to get the bird far away, so that he can unleash his radiation ray. He hits one of the bird's wings, and it falls down, while it tries to recover. Shen thinks that in his current position, he cannot hit the bird accurately, so he needs to find an opportunity to give it a full breath, which will most likely take it down. The bird recovers, and immediately tries to pounces him once again, but Shen doesn't let it, as he lands on it, and starts to bite its neck. The bird is extremely enraged now, and so it descends quickly to the ground, and then suddenly rises into the air at extreme speeds. Shen, somehow, finds the time to say that this place is beautiful, and that he has never seen something so high, since he was never able to go on a plane. The bird suddenly changes direction, and aims straight for the mountain, which makes Shen wonder if this chicken has turned crazy. Thank you for watching. See you next time.